So
Just make sure you're in the shot, obviously.
no, we'll just put Tony in the shot. It'll be fine.
But when you have the offset account, does that only pay off one of the loans, or does it cover all of the loans?
Okay, the offset account only covers one loan,
Okay.
and the primary reason we use an offset account is because that's where you're getting the biggest return on your money. But it's only a temporary holding place because we're going to end up cashing out of the offset account to buy more property and grow our portfolio. Because, see, this is the thing people got to realise. We're not here to actually own the property. People get confused about this, very confused, because people think what you're trying to do is buy a property, pay it off and own it. We're not doing that at all. Actually, complete opposite. What we want to do is, the only thing we want to do is control the property. And you might be asking, why do you want to control it and not own it? Because you're getting the same benefit out of the property whether you own it or control it. But it's a lot cheaper to control it than own it, so what would you prefer to do?
Control it.
Control it. Like, for example, you know, the jockey that was riding Far Lap, right? Now, he doesn't own the horse, does he?
No.
But what does he do? Control it. He controlled it, and he won the Melbourne Cup by controlling Far Lap. He didn't need to buy and own a horse, did he? No, he just needed to control it. Basically, what we're doing is using equity, or the smallest amount of deposit that we can, to end up buying properties, and we want to control them for the small amount of equity you can and around $30 a week, right? And what happens is properties double every 7 or 10 years. So because of that fact, by controlling an asset that's going to double every 7 or 10 years for $30 a week, we can get a $400,000 property, and in 7 to 10 years it's going to be worth $800,000. We're going to make $400,000 on that.
Yeah.
Right? So now what we could do is, let's say we get 10 houses, right? And that's $30 a week each, right? It's $300 a week.
Yeah.
And for those 10 houses, we're not owning, we're just controlling them. They're all $400,000 each. So at the end of 7 to 10 years, they're going to be worth $8 million. We're going to make $4 million. And it's going to cost us $300 a week, right?
Yeah.
Oh, this is going to be good. Let's say instead what we do is we buy a property for $400,000. But we're going to put in an extra $270 a week to pay it off quicker, because we want to own this property, right? $270 a week. Can you pass me a calculator, Christina? Or have you got a calculator? Can you? Okay, can you give me the yearly and then 10 years figure?
14,000 per year times 10, 140,000.
Okay, so this $400,000 house is going to end up being $800,000.
Yeah.
We're going to make $400,000 plus how much we pay off?
140,000.
Which is $540,000 instead of $4 million. What would you prefer to have?
1 million.
Same amount of money. But one mentality is trying to own it with $300 a week, and the other mentality is controlling it. See, by controlling more properties, we get more benefit out of the market going up. By only trying to buy one property, we're going to still owe. We're not even going to pay it off in those 10 years. And we've just spent all our cash flow trying to pay off this property. People that are trying to pay off their property are nuts. You can't do it. A house is bigger than you. It's going to outperform you. You can't beat it. So why bother? And that's the whole point. You know, people go, oh, we want principal interest, right? Forget this principal interest stuff. I mean, how much principal do you think you pay in the first 10 years? Hardly anything at all, but it destroys all your cash flow. And instead, I'll be smarter. I'll leverage my $30 a week over 10 properties instead of just one. Same expenses. However, I'm going to make 10 times more money, minus 144,000. Which is, so there you go. I mean, if you tried to pay off your property, that $400,000 property is going to take you 25 years. However, in 7 to 10 years, I could pay off 5 properties with $30 a week per property. Because if 4 million goes up to 8 million, I've got $4 million equity to pay. Actually, that will pay all of them off, won't it? Yeah. It will pay all my properties off,
So
completely.
Would you sell your properties at the end to pay off all your properties? Or
No, I'm happy to have debt. I still want to control them, even after I've made even after they've doubled in 7 to 10 years. I want to control them, take my equity out and control them. I don't want to own them, ever.
How do you take the equity out? You just
Refinancing.
refinance.
I never actually want to own them, because I'm not interested, because then, let's say I've got 20% equity in my properties, right? then I'm getting 5 times the return, which is a safe amount, which is awesome. So if property averages 7%, I'm actually making 5 times that, which is 5 times 7, 35%. There you go. Pretty awesome.
So if you bought 10 properties for $400,000 each over
Yep.
10 years, and they all grew to 8 million, so like a total net worth of $8 million,
Yep.
with refinancing, can you take that money into your pocket, or what can you do?
Yes, you can. So what I did when I retired, I pulled out $350,000 out of one of my properties that went up
Yeah.
and put it in an offset account.
Yeah.
So therefore, I had that money in case I needed it because I wasn't working.
Yeah. Wow.
And then I bought a convertible Porsche. I went overseas. I bought heaps of stuff,
Yeah.
partied on, and because I kept having $180,000 coming back into my account per year,
Yeah.
it kept topping it up. So I wasn't even eating into it too much.
Nice.
Isn't that cool? And obviously, you guys understand the reason I was renting is because I didn't want to destroy my cash flow at all.
Yeah.
So if I bought a property on the beach, it would have cost $180,000 roughly in payments.
Yeah.
However, I was paying $50,000, saving myself $130,000, which I was making, pay off my offset account. And luckily, my landlord was subsidising my rent by $130,000 a year. He was working his ass off.